to Success Nation. I'm your host, Gary Ernest. Today I'm going to talk to you about victories. Small victory, to be precise. As a people, as people of earth, a lot of people do not know how to celebrate and what real victories are. Just like I've talked to you about success, today I'm going to talk to you about victories, how to celebrate them. And what is a victory really? Is it that final stretch where you win first place? Is it that final graduation when you receive that diploma? Is it that marriage? Once you walk, you're at the altar. Is that really a victory for you? They all sound like they are the victories that you should celebrate, because that's the ones we celebrate the most. We celebrate our birthday. We celebrate the end of things. Sometimes we tend to neglect the small victories, the small wins. We don't celebrate them enough. We always put things off. Say, you know what? I'm going to travel when I retired. I'm going to do this when that is done. I'm going to throw a party once I accomplish this. If you look at all of them, they are always the end result. As people, you have to learn to celebrate every single day in your life. I mean, every single day in your life is a victory that should be celebrated. Don't walk around being unhappy and wait to the next 5-10 years to celebrate your victory. People tell you, no, don't toot your own horn. Okay, if you're talented, but you cannot tell people how talented you are because you don't know how to celebrate the victories in your life. The small victories in your life that you need to celebrate is the same victories that you neglect to celebrate and waiting for the end result. You see, by not knowing how to celebrate the small victories in your life, you are conditioning your mind not to be able to celebrate the big victories in your life. You look at those victories like, oh, it's nothing. You know, I've done it before. You have to reward yourself. You have to learn how to do it. You've been conditioned not to. People have been conditioned to say, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it. But you see, there's a moment you should celebrate. There's a moment you should say, you know what? Let me go out and have fun. You don't have to be rambunctious. You don't have to be destructive. But you definitely can go out and have some fun after you've achieved something. And once again, I'm not talking to you from a person who's never experienced any of those things. Lots and lots of achievements, but celebration was never part of it for me. Because I didn't realize that I was actually destroying myself. I was sabotaging my success by not willing to celebrate the wins in my life. By not willing to celebrate, by not knowing how to celebrate the wins in my life, I did not know how to celebrate success. I didn't. Everybody was happy, but I couldn't. Because I didn't know how to celebrate the success. I did not know. I'm sure right now you are questioning yourself. Are there anything I have not celebrated? Keep thinking. You'll find some. But once you do find them, you have to know how to celebrate them. It doesn't have to be big. Take a walk. Go to the park. Feed the birds. Feed the birds with joy. Don't just feed the birds like you don't care. Feed the birds like you care for those birds. In order for you to understand how to celebrate your wins, in order for you to understand how to appreciate the big moments in your life, you have to learn how to celebrate the small wins, the small victories. You waking up in the morning and being able to breathe in a time when most people can't. Being able to go to the store, you might take it for granted. We take a lot of things for granted in this world. We take a lot of people for granted in this world. We take a lot of family members for granted in this world. But what you need to understand is you must learn to celebrate. By you learning how to celebrate, you'll understand when success comes to you how important it is, how beautiful it is. But do not wait just for the end result. Because every step that leads you to that success should be celebrated. Every step that you've taken to get to that end result, you must celebrate them. Because if you don't celebrate, then by the time you get to that final stretch, you may not appreciate it as much. You may not appreciate it as much. Let's take a look at marriages, for example. The man wants the lady. He courted the lady and did everything that he needed. And once they get married, everything goes straight downhill. Everything spirals down. They don't go up. Every aspect of the marriage goes down. I mean every aspect. The bedroom, the food, the attention, everything that you used to do to get there, once you get to the top, you don't celebrate it. We go to school. We don't celebrate the fact that the semester we had an A, the semester we passed the class that was hard. We don't celebrate those things. You're like, yo, man, when I graduate, I'm going to celebrate my graduation. You need to celebrate every single moment in your life. Because you're waiting for the graduation. By the time you graduate, you get a job. You say, you know what? I didn't get the chance to throw myself a party. And before you know it, 15, 20 years later, you say, once I retired, I'm going to learn how to celebrate. But yeah, by the time you retired, sometimes, unfortunately, a lot of people don't even make it to retirement. And then even if they do, the traveling you put off, you said, man, I was going to travel. Your body is not capable to travel anymore. You're not as strong as you were when you got that job 20 years ago. You can't travel by yourself anymore. You need an assistant in order to travel. You see, if you do not celebrate the small wins, by the time you get to the victory, what you call the victory, the end result, the final stretch, the last lap. Once you get to that phase, once you get to that world of yours, you realize that you don't even know how to celebrate them. What you need to do right now, you get up, you go to your favorite coffee shop and grab yourself a cup of Joe. Smile. Smile at the person in front of you. You may even want to pay it forward. But once you do, pat yourself on the back. Say congratulations to yourself sometimes. Society have told you that, well, it's conceited to believe in yourself. But who's going to believe in you first? If you do not believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? You have to learn to celebrate that. And as a result, you have to teach your children how to celebrate that. You have to teach them the very small achievements in their lives. They mean a lot. Let's say you have your child goes to school, they made the honor roll. You don't celebrate anything about it. Oh, thank you, congratulations, son, congratulations, daughter. You have to do something to teach that child what you did. What you did was important. What you did is worthy of a celebration. What you did worthy of recognition. You don't have to wait until they graduate out of school to celebrate them. You don't have to wait for that. You don't have to wait for any final stretch in order for you to celebrate the wins in your life, the victories in your life. If you're in a relationship, every time you go on a date should be a celebration. Once you're married, every time you get to spend time with your partner, your husband, your wife, it should be celebrated. You know, the funny thing about life is you don't regret the things you've done, but you definitely regret the things you didn't get the chance to do. In order for you to remove the regrets, you have to understand how to celebrate today. How to celebrate the very small wins in your life. Yes, I know. That is true. Yes, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you know I'm talking to you. Yes, you sitting in that car right now asking yourself, well, I know how to celebrate. You know, I'm just going to wait till I forget my life, until I get that final paycheck. Well, you know what? You really technically do not need money to celebrate. Your celebration is not indicative of how much money you make. To some people, being able to pay their rent should be a celebration. To some people, being able to get out of bed, without going to the doctor the next morning should be a celebration. Waking up in the morning to get up and go to work is a celebration. Because there are thousands of things that could have happened in the middle of the night. There are thousands of things that could have happened in the middle of the night, but you wake up in the morning. You have to celebrate those moments. You have to understand, life is very fragile. Reality is something that you have to understand. But if you do not know how to celebrate the small wins in your existence, the small wins in your life, you would not understand how to keep the big wins. You know, it's funny how a lot of people make it to the top, but it's this, as easy as they made it to the top, they went down very quickly. They went down very quickly. Why? You know, the reason they go down so quickly is the fact that they did not understand how to celebrate the small wins. By not understanding how to celebrate the small wins in your life, when the big wins come in, you always wait for the big wins. You always wait for the final stretch. But once you get to that final stretch, you don't even know how to keep this final stretch. You don't even know how to keep those final stretch. All you do is complaining. Have you ever seen people, when they need a job, they pray to God, they'll say anything to get that job. Once you get the job, they do not celebrate the fact that they get the job. They see everything that's wrong with that place. They see everything that's wrong with the job. You have to learn how to celebrate the small wins. Because the small wins, they add up to the big wins. It's like filling a bucket of water with droplets. Tiny droplets. A drop of the drop of the drop of the drop. Before you know it, you have a bucket full of water. You don't even have a place to put water anymore. See, if you celebrate the small wins in your life, victory is guaranteed. You know why? Because the thing about your mind, the thing about your memory, it remembers things more than you can think of. Sometimes your mind will remember things that happened before you were born, which is a different understanding, different class. But your mind recognizes things your body and you as a conscious being may not understand. But what I'm saying to you is, you have to understand to celebrate the small wins in your life. Because if you do not celebrate the small wins in your life, you will lose. You would lose your path in this world. You would lose your path in life, because the things that you do not know how to celebrate, once they come to you, you would not be able to recognize the truth. You would not be able to recognize the wins that you need to celebrate in your life. We as a society, we have a lot to celebrate. We as a society have come a long way. We still have a long way to go. But we need to take a minute. Yes, take a minute. Celebrate those victories. Because the thing about not celebrating the victories, you tend to sabotage your wins. You tend to break down that first win, not really replicating that same win. You sabotage that win in order to get to the next. Once you get to the next, you sabotage that one again in order to get to the next. If you look back, you leave a trail of destruction. You do not leave a trail of construction. In order for you to understand, in order for you to grow, in order for you to be successful, you have to understand how to celebrate the small wins in your life. Because the small wins are the foundation. The small wins are the foundations for your building, are the foundation for your future. You understand? You have to celebrate every single time in your life. If you decide to celebrate the small wins in your life, your chances of success, your chances of succeeding at anything you do is very high. Your chances of staying and maintaining your success is equitably high. See, the thing about what I'm telling you is this. You as a being, you were born with certain powers and abilities to live, certain powers and abilities to survive. But being that you do not recognize the wins in your life, you accept the fact that people call you a loser. Because you don't understand the wins in your life. You only go by what people are telling you. Learn to celebrate the small wins in your existence. Learn to celebrate the small wins in your life. Because the moment you learn to understand and accept the small wins in your life, your potential to succeed, your odds to be successful at anything you do increases. Your odds increase to the degree of your acceptance. You have to understand that. You have to know. Celebrate the small wins. Celebrate the small victories in your life. Because when you do that, your mind and your body will get used to you celebrating. Your mind and your body will get used to you being a winner. Celebration turns you into a winner. If you do not know what it feels to be a winner, when are you going to know? Not when you get that bonus. Well, I will celebrate once I get that bonus. No, you're not. Well, I'm going to celebrate once I get this. You will be on a waiting list for your own existence. By telling yourself you're going to wait until you get this, you're going to wait until you get that, you are putting yourself on a waiting list in order to celebrate your existence. Your existence should be celebrated every single day. Every single day, every moment that passes in your life is a moment of celebration. It's a moment when you smile, you stand up and smile, stand up tall. Look up in the sky. Feel the ground. Celebrate that victory. Because if you don't, you won't know how to feel it. Once it comes to you, you don't even know what it is. Like I've told you before, I've been there. I've been there. My talking to you is not coming from a guy who has never experienced anything that I'm talking to you. my talks to you, they coming from my life experience. They coming from my personal experience, because those things I experienced myself. So that's why I'm talking to you today. I'm not talking to you today because I read a few books. Yes, I've read a lot of books, but that's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a perspective of experience. Yes. Do I have the education? Of course I do. But that's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a regular guy who had to beat the odds to get to here to the point where I'm talking to you. That's where I'm coming from. So if you want to follow, let's work with me here. Find a few moments in your life, every second, and celebrate those wins. Celebrate them. Celebrate them with joy. Celebrate them with pride. And I tell you one thing. By the time you are done, you'll be a happy man, a happy woman. You have a happy family. Your employees will be happy because you celebrate their small wins. You see, this teaching, you can use it anywhere you go. See, if you don't know how to celebrate the small wins, it could turn you into an angry person because you don't even understand. You'll feel like you're a loser because you don't see the wins in your life. You won't see the things that what you have achieved. You won't see them. You won't even know how to enjoy any of it. All you're going to say to yourself is, I don't know. I've never won anything. If you look back, you've never won anything. But if you look back, you've won a lot of things in your life. You just didn't know how to celebrate them. By not knowing how to celebrate them, you don't know how to be a winner. See, celebration, the small victories in your life would turn you into the real winner that you were born to be. In order for you to be the man and the woman that you were born to be, you have to learn how to accept and celebrate the wins in your life. Because if you do not know how to do any of that, all you're going to do is, I don't know how to do it. That's what you're going to say to yourself. Go to work. As you're going to work right now, once you get to work, smile. Smile. Sometimes you have to smile at the person who's been sabotaging you, and that you know that person, but just smile at the person. You know why I want you to smile? I want you to smile because this is what you're telling that person. It doesn't matter what you have done, I'm still here. See, that's where the smile, and you look at yourself as a winner. It doesn't matter how many odds I had to overcome, I'm still here. See, by being able to celebrate the small wins in your life, you're making life a lot easier for you. You're making life so much easier where people are going to say, what happened to you? But start by celebrating the small wins. If you celebrate the small wins, when the big wins come, you will rise above all odds. Remember, like and subscribe. Thank you.